explain a new topic of chapter number 4, that is polynomials solvable by radicals. Before starting this section, we should know the definition of a radicals or what is meant by radicals. So radical it is a symbol that indicates a root of any number. For example, if we take cube root of 2, then this symbol of a root is called radical, this 2 is called radical, and this 3 is called an index. So the object of this section is to use Galois theory to find necessary and sufficient conditions for a polynomial over a field f to be solvable by radicals. We will also construct a polynomial of a degree 5 that is not solvable by radicals. Here the definition of a radical extension is given. So definition: an extension E of a field f is an extension by radicals or a radical extension if there are elements alpha 1 to alpha r belongs to E and positive integers n1 to nr such that E equals to f of alpha 1 to alpha r, where alpha 1 raised to n1 belongs to f and alpha I raised to ni belongs to f of alpha 1 to alpha I minus 1, where I is between 1 to r. That is, here you can get a tower of extensions f0, f1 up to fr begins with f and then f of alpha 1 up to so on f of alpha 1 to alpha r, because you can see alpha 1 raised to n1 belongs to, because you can see alpha 1 raised to n1 belongs to f, so f of alpha 1 is a radical extension of alpha f. Similarly, here alpha 2 raised to n2 which is belongs to f1 equals to f of alpha 1, so f of alpha 1 alpha 2 is a radical extension of alpha 1. So therefore, similarly, continuing in this way, we can say that fr is a radical extension of f of r minus 1. So you can think that the radical extension is a field that is an extension that is generated by finite number of elements, that is alpha 1 to alpha r, and positive integers n1 to nr such that E is generated by f and this finite number of elements, where alpha 1 raised to n1 belongs to f and alpha I raised to ni belongs to f of alpha 1 to alpha I minus 1, where I is between 1 to r. So here are some examples of radical extensions are given. First example is q of cube root of 2 is a radical extension of q, since q is subset of q of root 2, it's subset of q of cube root of 2, and if we take cube of cube root of 2 which is equals to 2 and this 2 is belongs to q of root 2. Similarly, if we take square of this root 2 which is equals to 2 and this 2 belongs to q, means if we set a tower like this, q of cube root of 2, q of root 2 and q, where q of root 2 is our q of alpha 1, here alpha 1 equals to root 2, and if we take n1 equals to 2, then alpha 1 raised to n1 which is equals to square root of 2 which is equals to 2 and this 2 belongs to q. So here alpha 1 raised to n1 which is belongs to q, that is alpha 1 raised to n1 which is belongs to q, which is a best field. So we can say that q of root 2 is a radical extension of q. Similarly, here the second example is given, that is q of cube root of 2 and fifth root of 3 is a radical extension of q, since q is subset of q of cube root of 2, it's subset of q of cube root of 2 and fifth root of 3, and if we take fifth root of this term, then which is belongs to q of cube root of 2, and if we take cube of this term which is belongs to q, so we can say that q of cube root of 2 and fifth root of 3 is a radical extension of q. Here are some remarks are there, so we'll see the remarks now. An extension ER is a radical extension of f which is equals to E0 with intermediate fields E1 to ER minus 1 written in ascending order. Then there exists a radical extension ES dash of f equals to E0 with intermediate fields E1 dash to ES minus 1 dash written in ascending order, such that first ES dash contains ER, that means ER contain in ES dash. Second, ES dash is a normal extension of f, and third, EI dash is a splitting field of a polynomial of the form x raised to mi minus bi, which is belongs to EI minus 1 dash of x, where I running from 1 to s. To prove this third remark, let us assume that we have an ascending chain of fields we have an ascending chain of a fields f equals to E naught, its subset of E1, its subset of up to so on its subset of ER, starting with f such that EI equals to EI minus 1 of alpha I. That means EI is a radical extension of EI minus 1, where alpha I is a root of x raised to ni minus ai, which is belongs to ei minus 1 of x, I running from 1 to r. Let w be the primitive nth root of a unity where n equals to n1 to nr. Consider the tower E naught which is equals to f, E naught of w which is equals to f of w, E1 of w. Clearly E1 of w is a radical extension of f that are we consider. Also, f of w being a splitting field of x raised to n minus 1 belongs to fx is a normal extension of f by theorem 2.1 in the chapter 2nd. That means f of w being a splitting field of x raised to n minus 1 belongs to fx is a normal extension of f, since the definition of a normal extension is used here. Thus, f is a fixed field of g of f of w over f. This is because by theorem here we used this theorem for the f is a fixed field of g of f of w over f. This is because this theorem, let E be a finite separable extension of a field f, then the following are equivalent. E is a normal extension of f, f is a fixed field of g of E over f. Here the first condition is E is a normal extension of f. Similarly, here we can get f of w is a normal extension of f. So we can use this theorem and this implies this condition. So we can get f is a fixed field of so here this first condition implies this f is a fixed field of g of E over f. So we can use this theorem here and we can get the f is a fixed field of g of f of w over f. So the polynomial x raised to n1 minus sigma of a1 f1 of x equals to product of x raised to n1 minus sigma of a1, which is belongs to fx. Here f1 of x equals to x raised to n1 minus a1 raised to k, where k equals to order of g of f of w of f g of f of w upon f, since a1 belongs to f. Here sigma is an automorphism, so sigma of a1 is maps to a1. So next, let g1 of x equals to x raised to n minus 1 into f1 of x, then g1 of x belongs to fx. Here x raised to n1 minus 1 is belongs to fx here, and also we have that f1 of x which is belongs to fx. So this product also belongs to fx. Let k be a splitting field of g1 of x over f, then k is a normal extension of f. Clearly alpha 1 belongs to k, w belongs to k, and E1 is subset of k. It is also clear that there is a finite ascending chain of fields between f and k, such that each field is a splitting field of a polynomial of the form x raised to m minus b over the preceding field. Similarly, here we have taken k be the splitting field of g1 of x over f, then k is a normal extension of f. Similarly, we can get a finite ascending chain of fields between f and k that are the splitting field of polynomials of x raised to m minus b over the preceding field. Next, we construct a field L such that L contains the field k and E2 is a normal extension of f. So we consider a polynomial g2 of x equals to g1 of x into f2 of x. f2 of x, where f2 of x equals to product of x raised to n2 minus sigma of a2, because k is a normal extension over a f2 of x belongs to fx. Thus g2 of x belongs to fx. Let L be the splitting field of g2 of x over f. Then L contains alpha 2 and k, because alpha 2 is a root of this polynomial. So if L is a splitting field of g2 of x, then alpha 2 is belongs to L and k also belongs to L. Hence E1 of alpha 2 equals to E2, which is subset of L. Therefore L is a normal extension of f containing E2. By definition of normal extensions. Further, in view of nature of the polynomial g2 of x, it is clear that there exists a finite ascending sequence of intermediate fields between k and L, such that any member of the sequence is a splitting field of a polynomial of the form x raised to m minus b over the preceding member. Continuing like this, we construct a radical extension Es dash of f having the desired properties. This proves the remarks.